Kristen out of Canton, Michigan. Kristen, thanks for calling, buddy. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Jesse. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. How are you?
All is well. How's business?
Oh, business is good. Just got my own building, signed my lease a few weeks ago, so getting everything moved in and set up, and
Wow.
yeah, got my own building, bigger location, and yeah, man, moving up in the world.
We're going to have to do a major profile on you for the Bond website and our newsletter. That is something else, man.
Yeah. So I talked to Patrick a few days ago and was filling him in, and yeah, man, everything's going great. I can't complain, man. I ended up meeting up with some of the NFL players here for the Detroit Lions, and I do some of their cars now, and they're referring me out, and it's going pretty well, man. I can't complain at all.
Andre, isn't this major? Wow, you come a long way at such a fast time. I mean, you come a long ways in such a short time.
Well, it's because of you and Bond, man. I appreciate you guys, putting that information out there, man. I grabbed it, and like you said, man, you don't have to be smart. You don't have to have a college degree or none of that stuff, man. Just get out there, work hard, and, just drive. That's it. Don't let anything hold you back.
That's right. And the thing about you, too, is that you are down to earth. You're a trustworthy person, honest man, and there's nothing to stop you because God is with you when you do those things, when you have that type of personality.
Yeah. I agree, man. Just, be honest, do the right thing. And even when you mess up and you fail, just be honest, admit it, and learn from the mistake, and just don't do it again, so.
And then that way it's not a failure. You just made it.
Exactly.
You learn from it and you get better from it.
Exactly. Yep,
So,
exactly.
what's the best advice that I've given you to help you to do this?
The best, man, I can't even categorize anything into the best.
Yeah.
Everything you've said and that I've listened to has just been on point, 100%. So I don't even think I can categorize it, but I think as far as it relates to me and my business, Jesse, was just not being scared, because it does seem overwhelming, and it seems like you have to do a lot to start a business and run a business, but once you're in it, everything just kind of flows naturally, and it's not as big of a hassle as a lot of people think, and you don't need a lot of money either.
That's right.
Taking out loans and all that stuff.
You
start
don't.
with
That's
a little bit and save up with what you make and keep, tacking it onto the business.
One thing you said, and it made me think about something that I just want to add to it. You talked about it can be overwhelming sometimes, the job, right? The business?
No, it's just the initial thought of the process, a person has to go through. It's
Yes.
just, it seems like there's this stigma out there that starting a business requires taking out loans and getting all this inventory and doing all this stuff. And it just, that thought, the way people put it out there, the way society puts it out there, makes it seem overwhelming. But the way you break it down, Jesse, is just start simple, start small, and just crawl before you walk.
Yes.
That's really, I've never heard anybody break it down like that. And it just makes it a lot easier to say, hey, you know what? When you think of a business, you think of, a huge, big building. You got to get this, you got to get that. But it's like, no, I think you were talking about someone starting a painting business. Just buy a couple brushes, buy a couple buckets and a ladder, and do one house, do two houses, and then just add on additionally, and slow is smooth and smooth is fast, pretty much.
Yeah, a young man called in and he asked me, he talked about how a black guy from South Carolina somewhere.
Yeah, I forget.
Who said that he wanted to start a business, but he had never been taught, his parents didn't teach, no one taught him how to do it. And I asked him, what did you want to do? And he mentioned painting or something, and just one step at a time. I started my janitorial service that way. I had not one dime, and I wanted to have my own business, so I made up some flyers, came up with a nice little name, something like a small company that does a big job, put it out on the cars. When they said yes, I went and gave them an estimation. They gave me the half down. I went and rented the equipment and did the job, and when it got paid in full, put the money back. Next thing I knew, I had 7 full-time employees.
Nice.
And it just, what people don't realize, Kristen, is that in life, everything requires growing. You grow into it. Christianity, if you're not, when you become a Christian, you grow into it. When you start a business, you grow. When you're raising kids, you grow. It's not about starting at the top, because those who start at the top, they end up falling. But when you grow into it, it's yours for a lifetime.
Yeah, you know what? That's very true, and it's so hard in this society. And you know, and I'm part of that younger generation, but this generation, starting with my generation, Jesse, we're that instant gratification generation. We've got to have it now. You know, there's an app for everything. You know, it's really hard to kind of take that step back and look at it from that perspective.
Yes.
And I think that's the problem a lot of people are having today. You know, people from your generation, you guys had to save. You know, there wasn't credit. You can go out, slap something on a credit card and get it now, and you know, the car that you want, get it now and pay for it later. Things like that. You guys had to work hard. You had to save, and you had to have patience to get what you guys wanted. So
that's right. And one other thing I want to say about a feeling of feeling overwhelmed, and there's a way to avoid ever feeling that. And we talked about this Sunday in our Sunday morning church service. Is that if you can resist allowing Satan to tempt you to believe in the thoughts that he presents to you, you know how say when you open your eyes in the morning, he already has you thinking about what your day is going to be like, what happened yesterday, this is going to happen, this is not going to happen. When I say you, I mean we as human beings, if we can resist those beliefs, because that's what they are. When you believe the thoughts, you believe into them, and when you believe into them, they control you. They cause you to feel fear or doubt or worry or happiness or sadness, and because once you believe one thought, it just piled on you. One thought lead to one belief lead to another one and another one and another one, and you can get to a point where you would barely do anything. But if you could, because we live by belief, human beings live by belief. We all believe in something. It's impossible to live without a belief in something. And Satan played God with us, and he's given us many things to believe in, but they lead to destruction. And if you can resist that by just letting those thoughts go, you will always have a common peace in your life, and you will be able to take on whatever the day brings because you have not had time to think about it. You just do what's in front of you to do. Then you cannot feel overwhelmed.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but congratulations, man. We're going to really get someone to talk to you and do a whole piece on you. You're such an inspiration.
Oh, well, thank you very much, man. Like I said, man, I was telling Patrick the other day, too, man, I really appreciate, you know, the information that you guys put out there. I actually ended up, I got the antidote in the mail a couple months ago, and I'm going to sit down and read it once I have time. But I ended up giving my copy of From Raised to Responsibility to a buddy of mine, because he's kind of going through some of the similar things I went through, you know, growing up with his father, and his father's on drugs and stuff like that, man. So, you know, I've been pretty much spitting the knowledge to him that, you know, you've been passing on, and we have a lot of deep talks, and he's really enjoying it, because he had a lot of animosity towards his father for using drugs and things like that. And, you know, I've been telling him just, hey, let that go, you know, go to your dad, you know, just tell him you forgive him for what he's done and that you love him. And he actually went and did that, man. He told me, he said he felt a whole lot better. And I can see him, you know, every day when I talk to him and see him, man, he's like a whole new person since he's done that, you know.
That caused goosebumps to go over me right now.
Yeah, but it's the truth, man, you know. It's
100%
true.
There is nothing like returning to your Father. Life is all about, salvation is about returning to the Father.